Welcome everyone back to another DBZ Dokkan battle video. My name is DFree here. Today we are going to go ahead and go over several things, including but not limited to the upcoming Extreme Z battle for Janemba. I'm going to give you guys a short guide on that event. Also talk about my predictions for how the unit will turn out. I typically like doing these, of course. He should actually get his data download either tonight, tomorrow night, maybe the day after. Presumably tomorrow night though, but we'll see what happens. So anyways, let me know in the comments down below at any point what you guys think will happen to this unit's passive post Extreme Z Awaken. So it does appear, by the way, that we are on the fast track, right? We are immediately getting another EZA, of course, on the Japanese version, directly after the SS3 Vegeta, who's currently live right now, I believe, still. He had just came out, already announced this one, and we will probably get another one directly after this one, which a lot of people probably presume will be SS Broly, but SS Gogeta, but Broly might be relevant too. Anyways, let's go ahead and talk about this. So, we have Janemba, and of course, per normal, 30 stages through. They do have other medals listed there. I don't know if another unit's gonna ECA. Probably not gonna happen because there is no other Janemba. Now that I think about it, unless they're gonna do the AGL one or the STR, which I don't think is happening. Anyways, moving on. Play through 30 stages per normal, right? I think that's just here in case you need to go back and get the other medals though. So long story short, they're still tapering off the damage of SSR characters, so Devilman is not going to be able to one-shot this for you. But the most important thing to know is that the Fusion category is the category, presumably, that is going to be able to handle this event with the most ease. So I'm not going to go over a full-on team build for this because I think Fusion is one of the more straightforward categories. Either you can build it efficiently or you just simply can't. And that's just kind of what I think about this category. But that being said, just a couple key points. For one, try to funnel in as many physical units as possible, which is the Gotenks and also the LR leader, whether you need to take a friend or you have your own. Do what you need, right? And that'll get you through it. And next little key point is try not to take too many tech units. I know that there's a Tech 150 leader. He's fine, but maybe you don't look at these other units particularly because they don't really, specialize in defense and stuff like that. So try not to bring those units. Try to consider bringing other element units as well before you look at the tech units, just because, of course, Janemba's an Int-type boss, right? Int-type boss. Just try to avoid it. Anyways, moving on. Let's go ahead, and these, by the way, all the leaders right here that you can use effectively, right? Try to always bring an LR friend if possible, though. Anyways, moving on. So here's Janemba, right? And this is how the unit starts off now. 80% attack to Int type, right? And then below, we have supreme damage to the enemy and greatly lowers defense with the lightning shower rain. Passive skill, space domination plus 5,000 attack and defense. Guard is activated against all attacks. Links are Big Bad Bosses, Shocking Speed, Metamorphosis, Brutal Beatdown, Nightmare, Fear and Faith, and Fierce Battle. Now, I do not believe they have ever changed any links on any units, for better or worse. I'm looking at you, Tech SS3 Vegeta, for example. But anyways, I don't think they've ever changed any links on any unit that has ever Extreme Z Woken in this game. The primary unit or the secondary unit, like SS3 STR versus Tech, whatever the case is, for the Vegeta variants. But this guy has a very, very solid link set no matter what situation he's in. Fear and Faith, Shocking Speed, Fierce Battle, Big Bad Bosses, Nightmare. Those are some of the most relevant villain links in the game. And of course, villains are fortunate enough to have units like Rose that can go ahead and support them. So that doesn't really matter a whole lot to me. I do like his kit as far as links are concerned. Now, let's go ahead and take a look at some of the other units that recently Extreme Z Awoken before I give my final verdict on that Janemba. So we have this is Vegeta here, right? So it's 80% STR type, changed to 3-key, 90% attack, HP, and defense to STR types. Same goes for Beerus. So the same will happen for Janemba, by the way. So just keep that in mind. He's going to get 90%, 3-key to all int types. Literally the exact same leader skill, by the way, just to show you guys kind of where we are in this game as, you guessed it, LR Gohan. So keep that in mind. So Vegeta did change from supreme damage to immense damage, right? Now, Vegeta's a very relevant case because, again, he is the most recent one before Janemba. So you can kind of get a good barometer for what they're going to do based off of this. So, again, that is going to be something that happens here. There's no question about it. They're giving this man immense. Now, again, link sets don't change. Key multiplier and stuff like that don't change. You guys do know that the stats do go up, of course, because the level cap raises, as well as a super attack going up to level 15 maximum. So they did something wonky with his passive. So he kept the same passive, but they just extended it by 3 turns and then added a conditional attack plus 120%, when the target enemy is stunned. As you guys know, Vegeta himself is a very good stunner, stunning with a 50% chance. So, you know, in a lot of situations, he's going to be doing the extra damage, but there's also a lot of situations where he simply cannot, which is the definition of conditional. So what I want to do for this is take a look back over to Janemba really quick. Again, 5,000 is where he was at. So keep that in mind as we take a look at some of these other options that came out just about the same time period, right? That first year of Dokkan. So we have Broly here. He initially reduced his defense to 0 and only got plus 7,000 attack when attacking. Now, of course, he was hitting all enemies, so it's kind of a little bit of a difference, but nonetheless, they gave him a huge buff, and now that he has the EZA, he no longer loses any defense whatsoever. He actually gains defense when attacking, 80%, and also the attack had a crazy change. It goes from 7,000 to 80%. Now, I'm not going to get into the mathematics of like what that actually is, right? But that being said, when we take a look at this, he's just going to age a ton better. So that's what we can kind of expect for this unit. And of course, he changed from doing extreme damage, mass is equivalent to extreme, to being supreme actually here, hitting all enemies still, so that's why he didn't pick up immense, but also has an attack raise here. So they did a very good job on this unit's EZA. And we're going to take a look at the Gohan unit, who's another example of a unit who changed from having a flat boost, right, to a percentage-based one. So he didn't have any defense initially at all. They did allow him to pick up 40%, and then he also picks up 80% attack here, keeps the key +5 when 7 or more, yada yada. All those mechanics stay the same, but the 10,000 does change to this, and he does, again, pick up the immense despite greatly raising attack. So I went through all of that to come back and circle back to Janemba. So, like I said, leader skill, my predictions are leader skill, again, 3 key, 90% to the INT type. Immense damage, and I'll say that he continues to greatly lower defense. I don't think that's going to change. It would be amazing if they gave I don't think there was a single unit in the game that can greatly lower attack and defense at the same time. Correct me if I'm mistaken. Again, regular, fine, but greatly, I don't know. So that would be amazing if they did something like that. That would play directly into what he is, right? Of course, debuffing isn't always relevant, but still it would play directly into what he is and allowing him to be that all-encompassing tank that he is. So moving on, passive skill. He is still going to guard against all attacks unconditionally. That is just his gimmick. He came into the game with that gimmick. Several units have tried to bite off his style, but Janemba's still one of the best ones at it. So the main difference is the 5,000 attack and defense. Here's what I think. I think that is going to literally... Actually, hold on. Before I give my final thing, I do want to take a look at one last EZA unit. Another really, really recent one. I have a thought already, but before I do that, I want to see what happened with Beerus here. So, 60% at the start of the turn. It changed to 80% and also 80% defense, plus 40%. So they gave him a very conditional, again, secondary boost. So there's two situations for this Janemba. They're either going to give him a very straightforward boost or some sort of conditioned boost. So my thoughts are 80% attack and defense, guarding against all attacks, and also maybe a chance to dodge or something like that, right? Because I think that plays into exactly what he is. And of course, we see that with the STR Janemba. And it's not a big deal that he kind of becomes what STR Janemba is, but I guess kind of better because of the high stats that he has access to. Let's actually go ahead and pull up, for comparison's sake, the STR Janemba. It's not a big deal, though. See, 80% attack, literally no defense. Only defense comes in the form of blocking against all attacks, and then a medium chance to evade enemies' attacks. So literally by giving him even just defense, he on the surface, and immense and all that stuff, he's already going to get here. It's not hard for him to eclipse this unit. It's just not. And that is going to be the same case when we get to the Gogeta units. I'm sorry, INT Gogeta is amazing, but STR Gogeta is probably going to eclipse him as a better unit post-EZA. But again, since that's the case, that doesn't mean that the 120 leaders like Janemba and Gogeta can't EZA later on. I do think this guy's going to get 80% attack and defense at the start of the turn, guarding against all attacks. And again, very vanilla, staying pretty much the same passive-wise. Could also pick up some sort of mechanic like a ability to dodge. I don't think they're going to give him anything weird like a counter or anything weird like that. But they could also do the thing where they give him like, 40% attack and then 80% defense, guarding against all attacks, or like maybe like whatever the ratios are, right? But then also an additional 40% attack or 60% attack when the opponent is debuffed or when the opponent is something weird like that. So they could do something of that nature, Or they can give him a situation where, depending on the number of attacks he takes, the attack goes up. I do think that they're probably going to just stick to, just based on how it is now, I think they're just going to stick to how things are and not do anything crazy, not give him any sort of condition. I just think it's going to just be a vanilla passive. They're going to go 80% attack and defense, guard against all attacks, and maybe one other thing in there. Maybe he offers key support. Who knows? But that is my approximation for what this unit will be. Again, I don't think it's going to be very hard to eclipse this unit. You can already see the stat disparity, you know, without the increase in stats he's going to pick up here. Already about 15k, 16 and then 11 here versus 16, 16 and then 9. And then this guy literally has no defense. Again, the defense comes in the form of blocking against all attacks. Immense damage is the only real thing that he's doing attack-wise there. And of course, the key multiplier cannot be ignored, 150. But again, it's just going to happen. SA 15 is just going to happen. So that's my thoughts. Anyways, thank you all for tuning in. Hope you guys enjoyed today's video. Hit that subscribe if you are new for more content. Let me know what you guys think, and I'll catch all of you in the next one. And again, remember, this is coming out sometime very, very soon. I'm not going to pull up DBZ.space, but it should have the data download coming out literally tonight or tomorrow. So let me know what you guys think. Peace out, everybody.